On the morning the car appeared, Mara was standing at the sink with her hands in grey water, the smell of lemon soap sharp as grief. She had learned to stand very still when the day hurt, as if the ache might pass by if she didn't flinch. Outside, the street breathed its usual sounds, trash lids, a bus sighing, the neighbor's radio bleeding old love songs through a window. Nothing announced the moment. It came anyway. The car was wrong for their street. Too new. Too bright. A red that looked wet, like it had just been cut from something living. It settled at the curb with a hush, and for a second Mara thought it had come for someone else. Then the engine went quiet and the door opened, and a woman stepped out with a laugh that did not belong to mornings. Mara watched from behind the lace curtain she had never liked but never replaced. The woman was young in the way confidence makes you young. She wore heels that asked the sidewalk to forgive them, a blouse pale as milk, sunglasses too large for forgiveness. She leaned against the hood like a promise, her palms smoothing the paint with possession. Mara knew that touch. She had felt it on her husband's back, years ago, before his shoulders learned distance. The woman lifted her phone. The screen glowed. A picture was taken. Another. She angled herself so the house number would be visible behind her, like proof. Then she spoke, not to anyone present, words flung into the air for later. "Your husband," she said, voice bright, careless. "My man got me a new car." Mara did not hear the rest. Blood roared. The lemon soap burned. Her hands shook and the glass in the cabinet rang softly, like a bell rung underwater. She pressed her fingers to the counter until the world steadied. She thought of the way words can bruise without leaving marks, how some sentences land and never leave. She did not cry. She hadn't cried in a long time, not since tears started feeling like a language no one answered. Instead she dried her hands carefully, folded the towel along its old crease, and stepped into her shoes. Her heart did not race. It felt heavy, anchored. There are moments when pain becomes precise, like a needle threading itself. Outside, the woman turned, surprised by the sound of the door. Up close, her face was softer than the voice suggested. There were small freckles near her nose, a faint line at the corner of her mouth that spoke of practice smiling. She smiled now, quick and automatic. "Hi," she said, as if greeting a neighbor whose name she would not keep. "Good morning," Mara answered. Her voice sounded like her own. That steadied her. The woman's gaze slid past Mara, to the windows, the porch, the small ordinary house that had held years like water in a bowl. "Nice place," she said. "He said you'd be at work." Mara felt the sentence settle between them, a small animal breathing. "I work from home," she said. "Most days." "Oh." The woman laughed again, lighter. "Well, lucky you." She patted the hood. "Can you believe this? He surprised me." Mara nodded once. She looked at the car the way she had learned to look at medical forms, at bills, at the empty space in a closet where a suit used to hang. With attention. Without hope. "It's beautiful," she said, "because beauty is a word that costs little and can mean many things." The woman adjusted her sunglasses. Her smile tightened. "He's very considerate," she said. "He always takes care of me." Mara waited. Silence can be an invitation if you let it. The woman filled it with motion, hair tucked, purse adjusted, heel rocking. "I didn't mean," she began, then stopped. "I'm not trying to be unkind." Mara met her eyes. There was no triumph there. Just a need to be seen, to be right. "I know," Mara said. "You're telling me something you believe." The woman frowned. "I'm telling you the truth." "Those are not always the same," Mara said, gently. A car passed. Somewhere a child laughed. The woman's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then back at Mara, a challenge flickering. "He said you'd understand." Mara felt the weight of years press into her feet. She thought of the first time she had understood something she didn't want to. "I understand more than he thinks," she said. The woman's smile faltered. "So, are you going to say anything?" Mara looked at the red paint again. She saw reflected there a thin woman with careful hair and eyes that had learned to hold. She saw her own hands, empty. "I will," she said. "Just not today." The woman's mouth opened, then closed. "Okay," she said finally, the word brittle. Well, I should go. Drive safely, Mara said. The woman got in. The engine started. For a moment the car sat, idling, as if waiting for permission. Then it pulled away, red flashing once in the sun, and was gone. Mara stood alone on the curb. The street resumed its breathing. She felt older than the house behind her, older than the calendar. She went back inside, closed the door softly, and leaned her forehead against it. In the quiet, she placed her hand over her heart and listened to the small, stubborn beat that had not stopped. Not yet. She stayed there longer than necessary, counting breaths, noticing the old scratch near the lock, the faint warmth the morning left on the door. Somewhere inside the house a clock clicked, patient, forgiving nothing. She understood then that understanding would not save her. Only truth would. And truth was waiting. She did not move. Outside, the day kept going without her. She let it. Silence held. Her choice was forming. It would hurt. But it would be hers. She breathed. Once more. Alone. There. Mara did not tell anyone about the car. The secret lay inside her like a stone warming slowly to her body. She went back to the sink, rinsed the last of the soap away, and dried the counter she had already dried. The clock kept clicking, a small animal gnawing time. She opened her laptop and answered emails with sentences that behaved. She made coffee and forgot to drink it. She folded laundry that did not need folding. By noon, the house had learned her mood and stayed quiet. In the afternoon, she walked to the spare room that had once been a nursery and then a storage space and now was neither. The window there faced the backyard where the fence leaned and the grass had given up in patches. She sat on the floor and pressed her back to the wall, feeling the cool through her shirt. She let herself remember without choosing what came. Years ago, there had been a sound he made when he laughed for real, a loose sound, surprised by itself. She remembered the way he used to come home early just to tell her things he had thought about while driving. The smell of his jacket after rain. How he once cried at a movie he pretended to hate. How tenderness is an everyday miracle until it isn't. The door opened at 6:47. She knew the minute because the clock clicked differently when the door moved. His footsteps were careful, arranged. He set his keys down with care, the way someone handles glass. Mara, he said, testing the name like a surface. In here, she answered, from the spare room. He paused. Then he came. He stood in the doorway as if asking permission from the past. He looked tired in a way sleep does not fix. His hair had begun to thin at the crown. There were lines near his eyes she had traced once with her thumb. Hey, he said. Hey, she said. Silence stretched. He shifted his weight. You didn't call. I didn't need to, she said. I saw. His face tightened, then loosened. He exhaled. She shouldn't have. She did, Mara said. She kept her voice level, like a lake that has learned the wind. She said what she wanted to say. He rubbed his forehead. It wasn't meant for you. It landed anyway, Mara said. He stepped into the room, then stopped, as if a line had been drawn on the floor. I didn't think. Mara stood. The movement surprised them both. She was shorter than him, always had been, but she felt taller now, steadied by something new. Thinking is not the same as knowing, she said. And knowing is not the same as caring. He winced, as if struck. I care, he said quickly. You know I do. She looked at him. Really looked. At the familiar shape that had become a stranger without leaving. You care in pieces, she said. You give them away and hope the shape stays whole. He opened his mouth, closed it. I never meant to hurt you. I believe you, Mara said. The belief did not comfort either of them. I also believe that intention does not undo harm. He sat on the edge of the bed, hands clasped. It just happened, he said, the oldest sentence in the world. Mara felt a flicker of anger, quick and bright, then it dimmed. Nothing just happens, she said. It happens step by step. You step until you're somewhere else. He stared at the floor. She makes me feel. You don't have to finish, Mara said. I know the feeling. It's called new. He looked up, startled. You do. Of course, she said. We both used to be new. A sound escaped him, half laugh, half grief. He covered his face. I'm sorry, he said, and this time the words were wet. Mara waited. She had learned patience the hard way. She bought the car with your money, she said finally. Or you bought it with ours. He flinched. I can explain. You can, Mara said. Later. He nodded, grateful for delay. What do you want? He asked, softly. Tell me what to do. The question landed wrong. Mara felt it then, the small shift inside her, like a lock turning. I don't want you to do anything, she said. I want you to tell the truth. He hesitated. The hesitation said more than speech. I love you, he said. That's not the truth I asked for, Mara said. That's a truth you've practiced. He swallowed. I don't know how to choose, he said. Then don't, Mara said. Let the truth choose you. He looked up, fear naked. What does that mean? Mara stepped past him to the window. The backyard was quiet, ordinary. It means I won't protect you from the shape of what you've made, she said. Not anymore. He stood. Are you leaving? She shook her head. No. I'm staying. Relief flashed, then confusion. Then what? I'm staying with myself, Mara said. You can stay too. Or not. But I won't pretend. The room seemed to hold its breath. He reached for her hand, then stopped himself. I need time, he said. We're all out of that, Mara said gently. He nodded, as if struck by a verdict he had always known. He left the room. The door clicked. Mara stood at the window and watched the light change. Outside, nothing dramatic happened. Inside, something ended without a sound. She felt the ache bloom, slow and deep. She let it. When night came, she did not turn on the light. She sat in the dark, present. The truth was not kind. It was quiet. It waited with her. Mara slept on the couch that night, not because she had been asked to, not because the bed was forbidden, but because it felt honest. The cushions smelled faintly of detergent and old afternoons. She lay on her side and listened to the house move around her. Pipes ticked. Wood settled. Somewhere a moth beat itself gently against a light that was not on. She woke before dawn, heart already tired. In the dim, she remembered the red of the car again, intrusive as a wound. She did not reach for her phone. She did not want to know what the world thought. She made tea and watched steam lift like something leaving. She sat at the table where they had once argued about paint colors and laughed about nothing. The chair across from her stayed empty. When he came down, it was careful again. He poured coffee. He did not look at her. I didn't sleep, he said, as if confessing to weather. Neither did I, Mara said. Silence did not soften. It hardened into shape. He cleared his throat. She's waiting, he said. Mara nodded. I imagined. She wants to talk to you, he said. She thinks it might help. Mara watched the tea darken. She already talked, she said. Help arrived when it wanted to. He shifted. I told her you're not. Don't tell me what you told her, Mara said. Her voice did not rise. It did not need to. I don't want to live in second-hand sentences. He looked at her then. Really looked. There was something like fear there, but also relief, as if a door had finally been opened and he did not know whether to run or kneel. What are you going to do? He asked. Mara thought of the question as a long road she had been walking without knowing it. Today, she said. I'm going to the bank. His brow furrowed. Why? Because there are truths that live in numbers, she said. And I am tired of guessing. He opened his mouth, closed it. I can come. No, Mara said. You can stay. She left without ceremony. Outside, the morning was pale and forgiving. The bank smelled like carpet cleaner and hope. She sat across from a woman with kind eyes who spoke gently and slid papers across the desk. Accounts. Transfers. Dates. Patterns. Mara felt something like grief settle into comprehension. There was money she had not known about. Withdrawals that lined up with weekends he said were work. The car. Paid for outright. Is this? The woman began. Yes, Mara said. It is. She signed where asked. Her hand did not shake. When she stood to leave, she felt lighter and heavier at once. Knowledge does that. It gives weight shape. She did not go home right away. She walked until her legs ached, until the city became a blur of corners and faces she would never know. She passed a dealership. Red cars gleamed under lights like a row of hearts. She did not look long. She knew now what they cost. When she returned, the house was too quiet. His shoes were gone. A note sat on the counter. She did not pick it up at first. She made a sandwich she did not eat. She washed a cup she had not used. Then she unfolded the paper. I need to think. I'll be back tonight. She folded it again, carefully, and set it where it would not blow away. The afternoon stretched. At 4, the doorbell rang. Mara stood very still, the way she had learned. When she opened the door, the woman from the morning stood there, sunglasses off, eyes rimmed red. She looked younger without the armor. She looked frightened. I shouldn't be here, the woman said. You are, Mara said. Come in. They sat across from each other at the table. The space between them was charged, not with anger, but with an unnameable sorrow. The woman clasped her hands. I didn't know, she said. About the money. About. Mara waited. I thought he was choosing, the woman said. I thought I was winning. Mara felt something soften. Not forgiveness. Recognition. Winning is a word people use when they're afraid to say lonely, she said. The woman's eyes filled. He told me you were distant. Mara nodded. Distance is what happens when someone keeps leaving and coming back with less. Silence again. The woman looked down. The car, she said. I didn't ask for it. Mara considered. You didn't refuse it either, she said. But that's not why you're here. The woman shook her head. He asked me to sell it, she said. He said he made a mistake. Mara closed her eyes. The knife twisted, quiet and precise. Mistakes are accidents, she said. This was a decision. I know, the woman whispered. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry. Mara opened her eyes. I accept that you're sorry, she said. I don't accept what you did. Both can be true. The woman nodded, tears falling. What are you going to do? Mara thought of the bank papers in her bag. Of the note on the counter. Of the way staying had begun to mean something different. I'm going to tell the truth, she said. All of it. When the woman left, the house felt altered. At dusk, he came back. He stood in the doorway, small somehow. She came, he said. Yes, Mara said. He swallowed. She told me about the bank. Mara nodded. I told myself. He looked at her, pleading. I can fix this. Mara shook her head, slow. No, she said. You can only face it. Outside, night settled. Inside, something waited, finished forming. Mara felt the final weight of knowing press down. She did not move away from it. She let it sit. Tomorrow would ask something of her. Tonight asked only that she breathe. She did. Once. Then again. Morning arrived without permission. Light crept in through the blinds and touched the edges of things Mara owned and things she was about to lose. She lay on the couch again, eyes open, listening to the house breathe. The night had not softened her. It had sharpened her. He was already awake. She heard him in the kitchen, the sound of a drawer opening, closing. When she stood, her body felt steady, as if it had decided something without consulting her fear. She walked in and sat across from him at the table. He looked up, hopeful in a way that hurt. We need to talk, he said. We are, Mara said. He nodded. I ended it, he said quickly, like someone throwing a rope. With her. Completely. Mara watched his hands. They were empty. That's good, she said. For you. His face tightened. For us. Mara breathed in. She smelled coffee, toast, the faint ghost of last night's rain. Ordinary things that keep happening. There is no us to save, she said. Not the way you mean. He leaned forward. I can change, he said. I will. I swear. She believed him. That was the quiet cruelty of it. Change doesn't rewind, she said. It only moves forward. He reached for her hand this time and she let him. His skin was warm. Familiar. I love you, he said, again. Mara held his hand and felt nothing dramatic. Just the echo of something that had already left. I know, she said. I loved you too. The past tense landed like a stone dropped in water. He stared at her. What does that mean? Mara withdrew her hand. It means I am done protecting the story where you are the center, she said. I am not punishing you. I am choosing myself. He shook his head, disbelief cracking through. You can't just. I can, Mara said softly. And I am. She stood and went to the hall closet. She pulled out a folder she had kept hidden behind winter scarves. She brought it back and set it on the table. He watched, confused, as she opened it. Papers lay neatly inside. Titles. Accounts. Signatures. What is this? He asked. This is the part you never asked about, Mara said. Because you assumed. He picked up a page, frowned. These are mine, Mara said. The savings. The inheritance. The account you didn't know existed because you never looked for it. His mouth opened. Why didn't you tell me? Mara considered. Because you never asked who I was outside of us, she said. You just stood there and took. He swallowed. The house is in my name, Mara said. Always was. Silence stretched, stunned. He looked smaller, like a man whose reflection has betrayed him. The car, he said faintly. She said. I know what she said, Mara said. Now you know what's true. She closed the folder. I'm not here to shame you, she said. I'm here to leave cleanly. He stood, panic rising. You're kicking me out. I am asking you to go, Mara said. There's a difference. Where will I? Anywhere, Mara said. That's not my responsibility anymore. He ran a hand through his hair, wild. You planned this. Mara shook her head. I survived this, she said. Planning came later. He looked at her as if seeing her for the first time. You were always so quiet, he said. Quiet is not empty, Mara said. It's just not loud for men who listen to themselves. The doorbell rang. Both of them startled. Mara went to the door. Outside, the red car sat at the curb again, painfully bright in the morning. The woman stood beside it, eyes downcast, keys in hand. I sold it, she said, voice trembling. Or I'm trying to. I brought the papers. He said. Mara raised a hand. You don't owe me an explanation, she said. But thank you. The woman nodded, relief and grief mixing. I'm sorry, she said again, and this time the apology was not a performance. Mara watched her leave, watched the red car pull away one last time, diminished by distance. She closed the door and leaned against it briefly. Then she straightened. He stood behind her. So that's it, he said. Yes, Mara said. He looked around the house, at the life he had stepped out of without noticing. I never thought you'd be the one to end it. Mara met his eyes. Neither did I, she said. But here we are. He picked up his coat. At the door, he paused. I'm sorry, he said, smaller now. For all of it. Mara nodded. I know, she said. That doesn't change the ending. When the door closed, the sound was not loud. It was final. Mara stood alone in the quiet. She felt the ache rise, deep and honest, and she did not push it away. She sat on the floor and let herself cry, not in sobs, but in slow, careful tears that honored what had been real. Later, she cleaned the house. She opened windows. She threw away nothing. In the afternoon, she went for a drive in her old car, the one she had paid for herself years ago. The engine rattled. The seat was worn. It felt like home. At a stoplight, she caught her reflection in the mirror. She looked tired. She looked alive. The light turned green. She drove on, not fast, not slow. Just forward. The street opened. The future did not promise anything. That felt honest too.